Hello, Gemini. Right, okay, what do we have for you today? Your last reading was interesting, actually. You had kind of like a card that kind of popped out. It'd been hiding, and it was the Lover's card, which is your card. But it kind of had a white woman and a black man on it, but they were wearing the masks of each other. And it was kind of yin yang, Gemini energy, mirroring, all this kind of stuff. But some of the things that were coming through, I kind of watched it back and I thought, it's almost like they were telling me about that attack on Capitol Hill. I know that after it happened, a lot of people brought up race, like racial issues, and said, if this was Black Lives Matter storming the Capitol, there would have been a very different reaction to it. There would have, from the security teams. That's their opinion. That's the kind of comments that I saw happening. I'm just kind of keep my own opinions out of it, but as best as I can, But yeah, it was interesting. It was like it was trying to tell me something there about that, and I do find that sometimes that happens. What have I got for you? What have I got for you? I had a drink of brandy last night. Quite a very tall glass of brandy, to be honest. And it's definitely hurting my head this morning. There could be something to do with being under pressure. The reason why I had the drink in the first place, and I don't drink too much at night normally. I've kind of learnt my lessons. But I have felt that pressure from like homeschooling. I've been homeschooling my son, and it all kind of got a bit on top of me. I was handling everything well, like on a kind of Queen of Pentacles level. Everything's kind of done, it's sorted, I'm on it, I'm doing really, really well. But that comes with, stress and pressure. So it's interesting, this pressure card kept kind of showing itself to me. It was on the bottom of the deck and it kind of flipped out as I was shuffling this pack. So you may be feeling under a lot of pressure. Now, as I was tuning into your energy, I got something about, I actually heard something not written down, something not written down. So I was getting this impression of like a speech. People write down a speech, they kind of read from a script. But this was more talking about an unprepared speech, or going off script, or setting the script aside and speaking from the heart. So there could be something for you there, Gemini, because one of the songs that came through for you as I was setting up was Ladykiller by Lush. Now, don't panic too much about the Ladykiller business, but it's just the name of the song. But it's talking about different men trying to use chat-up lines on the singer and her friends. So one of the parts of that song, it says, I don't need your practice lines, your school of charm mentality. So it's almost like, Gemini, you're saying, I feel like you maybe have a love interest, or that there is somebody who wants to say something to you that's very important, and perhaps they're trying to plan it out before they speak to you. They're writing it down, they're kind of throwing it away, rewriting it. I mean, it could be you. Take it as if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But I get more the impression that you're the person saying, look, I don't need your chat up lines. I don't need you to, this school of charm. I don't need you to have this kind of polished, sterile, scripted thing that you need to say to me. I want you to just speak from the heart, and if it comes out a big bumbling mess, then at least I know it's genuine. So there could be something like this that you're doing. It's like you just want somebody that you can enjoy yourself with, and that you can kind of have a good time with, have a laugh with, and feel natural, feel like yourself. Gemini, you are a sign of duality. You do wear a mask quite a lot in different situations. You can see almost like it's a mask, right? And now that isn't saying that you're being deceptive in any way, or that you're lying about who you are in any way. I find Geminis to be quite authentic. But the thing about Gemini is that you're multifaceted, and you're going to present different sides of your personality in different situations as you feel like it's appropriate. So some people may see this as a little bit Machiavellian, a little bit manipulative. You're seeing it as practical and efficient, and something that's part of your nature. It's like, it's like everybody does it to some extent, right? If you go to school, you put on your sensible face. I'm accomplished. I know what I'm doing. I've got this down. I mean, depending on your friends and things like that. But just as an example, if you're going to work, it's like, I'm professional, I've got this. But with your friends, you might be like, I'm a hot mess. Ha ha ha. So something to do presenting these different sides of yourself, but wanting the people who you're close to, so like best friend, right, close family members, love interests, wanting somebody that you can relax around and just kind of be your quirky, weird Gemini self, right? And I say that with love, I say that in the best way. You know, not having to impress anyone, not having to kind of put on a show for anyone. So what else do I have for you? Smack heads together, right? I feel like there's you and another person, and perhaps, you know, friends. I don't know what it is, but they're showing me the scene as well now. They didn't show it me before, but now that I've mentioned school, they're showing me the scene in Harry Potter where Snape kind of like bumps their heads together, and it's that kind of feeling. It's like it's almost like you and this other person perhaps doing some kind of dance around each other where you're both kind of wearing masks, you're trying to figure each other out. It could be you and another Gemini, but it's like you're kind of trying to suss each other out a little bit, and kind of almost being like in kids in the school playground with it, and like, again, it doesn't have to be a love interest. Your card is the lovers, but it could be like a friend, another family member, you know, maybe someone you've not spoke to for a long time, and you kind of, because I'm getting this coming back around energy. I could see cogs, but the cogs were moving away from each other. But obviously, as they move away, they go in full circle and come back together again. So it's like somebody that you're kind of doing this dance with, like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like you take 2 steps forward, you take 2 steps back, they take 2 steps forward. So it's something like this. It's like it's almost like a mating ritual. You know, when you see birds like scratching the ground and puffing the feathers up and walking around each other, it feels like that kind of energy. So it's like the people around you are just watching you do this, and like they're like, "What, Gemini, will you just get on with it?" Like banging your heads together. But again, like you've got that pressure card there, so there's like, it could be feeling pressured by people around you to get together with somebody. So I don't know, maybe you like this person, maybe you don't, maybe they're not impressing you because they're coming towards you with like you know, there's another character in that song who's kind of all they want to talk about is sex, and like their favorite topic is women, and it's like, well, you know what they're trying to get to. So maybe it could be like somebody talking about sex to get you to talk about sex, to find out what you like, something like this, right? Which is interesting because Gemini, I know I've got Gemini moon, so you can sometimes have a tendency to make very silly jokes in order to entertain other people. So sometimes the things that you say, Gemini, yeah, you are this sort of character. Sometimes the things you say are not your authentic beliefs, or not your authentic opinions. Sometimes you'll just say things to get a bit of a reaction, to make a funny joke. And for you, it's part of the dance, right? It's part of the performance of being Gemini, where other people perhaps may take what you say at face value and may not understand that behind that mask, like a clown mask, right? Sorry, I'm not calling you a clown, but more like the performance aspect of being Gemini, you know, being the center of attention, possibly making other people laugh. You know, again, depending on all your different placements, different Geminis will act differently. If it's not you, it's somebody else acting in this way around you. So it could be somebody's trying to suss you out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Knight of Swords in today's reading. They're trying to suss you out. They're trying to ask questions to get your beliefs, but you're kind of like doing this little dance where you're kind of like dodging all those questions. Like I heard dodging bullets. It's like you kind of, they're trying to kind of pin you down, like, or get you to say some kind of fixed opinion. Now I'm getting a different energy where it's like, say somebody was trying to pin something on you, like pin the blame on you, or get evidence for something that you've said, but you are kind of like sidestepping all their attempts at questioning you or pinning something on you. You kind of keep dodging it. So like they're showing me like literally like, you know, stepping to the side and dodging. So take anything that resonates there, leave anything that doesn't. But again, you've got that huge pressure behind whatever this is. Do I have anything else for you here? Frankenstein, very briefly. I'm calling it Frankenstein, it may not be. I saw a man stood at a table. It was very dark around him, but really sees his white lab coat. So who's facing away from me, I could only see his back. I could only see the lab coat, really. That was the focus. So perhaps you wear a lab coat, perhaps somebody around you wears a lab coat. I did get this Frankenstein feeling to it. So like I've created a monster, right? Could be something there for somebody. Frankenstein. I might not be pronouncing it properly. The song 2002 by Anne-Marie was the first song that played this morning for me as I was getting up. But as I came to your reading, it kind of reset itself. So I've just made a note of it in case it was important to you. The other song that randomised on Spotify, as well as Ladykiller by Lush, was The World Is Not Enough by Garbage. No one ever died from wanting too much. People like us know how to survive. There's no point in living if you can't feel the ride. So I've got this kind of Bonnie and Clyde, if we want to go with the rhyming scheme, Bonnie and Clyde feeling to your reading. Again, it's kind of like maybe you've met your match, or maybe you've kind of it feels like childhood friends, like mischief making. Yeah, but it's like now you're an adult, so now you're like, okay, I want to take over the pinky in the brain, you know. I want to take over the world, and this other person's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it, whatever. When it comes to men like you, I know the score. I've heard it all before. He only had to have me because I put up a fight. When he's nice to me, he's just nice to himself. So there could be something there for some of you. I do feel like maybe, I really do get this sense from you, Gemini, of kind of, you know this other person because they're like you. You understand this other person's games. You understand this other person's, like, all the things that they're attempting to do, because it's things that you would try to do. In that kind of like very analytical Gemini brain that wants to understand other people and maybe manipulate them a little bit, you know, in a nice way, Gemini. You know, it is a shadow side tendency of Gemini to be a little bit Machiavellian, a little bit like controlling socially. So yes, like trying to suss each other out, like, but seeing behind the mask as well. Like they're trying to use lines on you and you're like, no, that's the kind of line that I'd use, you know. So take anything that resonated there, leave anything that doesn't. And I'm going to find my tablet and randomise a song on camera for you. As I'm pulling up Spotify then, I thought I'd give a shout out to a couple of other tarot channels. I do like to do that from time to time to see if anyone, like, you know, if anyone wants to go and have a nosy and see what they're like and see if they like them. I've been watching a lovely lady called Regretless Life Tarot. She's just like a very sunshiny reader, very nice. But she does very interesting readings, and she does it in kind of a storytelling way, so you may enjoy her readings. Water Baby Tarot as well is amazing. Like sometimes she's so spot on and you think that is just incredible. She's very professional. She's you know, she's been doing it for a while. So yeah, go and check out those other channels if you're interested in someone else. Like if you don't want me anymore. Okay, let's I'm joking, obviously. Of course you want me. So sorry, Gemini, you get me in a funny mood. Let's randomize a song for you on camera. Here we go. National Anthem. Oh my goodness, I wish I'd said it now. I'm just going to kind of shuffle as we as I talk about this. National Anthem, God, you're so handsome. It's Lana Del Rey. I'll be your national anthem. Before, as I was setting up the reading, I was thinking about how Donald Trump is a Gemini, and I was sort of thinking about the presidential inauguration that's happening today with Joe Biden. And one of my friends tweeted out that apparently Lady Gaga is going to sing the national anthem at his inauguration. And I was really thinking about this, and then kind of like Marilyn Monroe as well, like how Lady Gaga dressed up as Marilyn Monroe once, I think. You know, obviously Marilyn Monroe had something going on with one of the presidents. So national anthem, God, you're so handsome. Yeah, and I'm kind of seeing Wolf of Wall Street. Somebody's done like a fan video using Wolf of Wall Street for that song. So could be something there for somebody. Right, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm tuned into the energies. I'm going to have a bit more coffee so that I can cope with life. And I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, Gemini, all tuned in. So yeah, money is the reason we exist. Everybody knows it as a fact. Kiss, kiss. Yeah, I love that song. Tell me I'm your national anthem. So what else? There was a couple of songs. God, you're so handsome. Take me to the Hamptons. Loves to romance them with reckless abandon. Holding me for ransom, upper echelons. He says to be cool, but I don't know how yet. Wind in my hair, hand on the back of my neck. He says, can we party later on? He said, yes, yes, yes. So he said, don't you know who you're dealing with? Do you think you'll buy me lots of diamonds? So, yeah, it's interesting, like, because I was getting, the world is not enough, like, taking over, the Wolf of Wall Street, or, yeah, that kind of, like, kind of quite narcissistic, like, almost like, what American Psycho, like, do be careful, Gemini, with whatever you're up to. But yeah, it feels like partner in crime, like gonna take over the world. Like they show me, I don't know if it's out of a film, I can't place which film it is, but I think, they do it in Wolf of Wall Street as well, but it's a different film that they show me. Somebody, two people jumping on a bed with loads of money. So Gemini, interesting reading. Let's get a overall card for you. So we're going to get the overall energies for your reading. 3 cards for this. So overall energy for Gemini's reading, please. Here we go. You've got 2. I've not been taking 2. Naughty Gemini. Trust you. It takes 2, baby. Fecundity, don't know that word, rain. So this almost gives you like Empress energy. The Empress is a card where there's lots of potential. It's like pregnancy. Doesn't necessarily mean pregnancy, but it means like something that can grow, right? She's fertile, she's abundant, she can create. Beginnings, east. So the east could be relevant to you. Perhaps you're moving eastwards. Never should we? I filmed a Minecraft video. I've got a gaming channel as well, and I kept on getting east and west mixed up and going in the wrong direction for ages, and I was like, why am I not home yet? So I'm noticing on both of these cards this is kind of like portal opening up. It's almost like Stargate, right? Beginnings in the east. So perhaps, yeah, you need to perhaps travel east. Telling me east is east. That's another film. And then the rain as well there. Rain. I'm getting rain as in like a queen's reign. Again, I want to rule the world, but the world is not enough. This feeling of like wanting to create an empire. Okay, so maybe you're doing something in business. But I'm thinking about how nourishing the rain is. So some people may not find a situation enjoyable. So you could go out in the rain, you could be like, I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm miserable. But other people may appreciate the rain because the rain comes and makes the plants grow. It makes the rivers run. It's nourishing. So what may be a difficult situation for others may actually be nourishing to you, or there's a situation where you see the potential in it where other people might not. East, I don't know. East, what does that mean to you? They kind of give me Go West. Who sings that? Go West. It's go west, but they get telling me go east. So if you didn't know which direction to go in, I guess you want to be at least considering whatever option is to the east, if that makes any sense at all for you. What song did they just give me? It's gone out of my head already. Not Go West, the one before that. I don't know. I'm sorry, I may miss that one when I'm writing. If you look in the description box below, all the songs will be listed there that came through for your reading, and it always is worth either going and having a listen to some of them, see if any pop out at you, and kind of like draw you in. Go and have a listen to the music. What mood does it set? Are there any lines that pop out? It may not be the whole song. It may just be like the chorus or 1 or 2 lines that kind of like really ring for you and make you think. So do go and check out those songs. There's always something there for somebody. Okay, so Overall energy, please. I'm not taking this many cards. I'm going to take the Fox Spirit because I almost like held it. Fox Spirit, and it is the kind of energy that I was sort of seeing, like scruffy hair today. Think on your feet. Think on your feet. So there may be a situation coming up where you need to think on your feet, where you need to be quite wily and get that kind of strategic, shifty Gemini brain working in your favor. You know, everything has a good side and a bad side, right? Sometimes it can be that kind of like shifty, manipulative, not very trustworthy energy, but sometimes that can pay off. So you could be the sort of person who perhaps you've had to think on your feet in your life. Perhaps you've had to have, I'm getting a very kind of nervous energy with the fox as well, like, you know, ready to run away or ready to fight at a moment's notice, you know, fight or flight. So it's like, so I'm just checking the time. My son has to be in a lesson at 9. I'm hearing Wile E. Coyote, and now there is a coyote card in that deck, but it hasn't come out. But I'm hearing Wile E. Coyote, so I don't know if that means anything to anyone. Perhaps you've been watching, is it Looney Tunes? Or I don't know what it is. Perhaps you've been watching that cartoon, Wile E. Coyote. I'm just sort of thinking about how his plans always go wrong, though. Roadrunner, maybe your Roadrunner, kind of. Roadrunner thinks on his feet, he reacts quickly, he kind of, he's quite lucky in situations where Wile E. Coyote is always kind of planning and wanting to kind of, you know, catch the emu, and kind of, like, it's not an emu, why did I say emu? What is he? Roadrunner. Is he an emu? I don't know, but he's always trying to catch him. He's always coming up with these like mad schemes. You know, the fox is very schemy, and they don't always work. I feel like somebody's overthinking in a situation. You know how I was saying about, you know, writing a script and then going off script? It's like somebody is like overthinking, over strategizing, making this complicated when it doesn't necessarily need to be complicated. So maybe there's a need to kind of like think and feel from the heart space a little bit more, be a bit more reactive rather than planning so much. Again, I don't know if this is you or somebody else, and we're going to read what that card has to say as well in a minute. Can I get one more card, please, for Gemini? Secretive here. I'm going to take the first one that I see. The 7 of Air. Yeah, the 7 of Air is 7 of Swords. And you've also got the Emperor and the 10 of Cups there. Hiding. So again, the Emperor rules an empire. 10 of Cups is like happiness shared with other people. So you're doing something, you're being very, very secretive about it. This card literally, if you go and look it up, the 7 of Swords, the Air is Swords. It means secretive, and my voice is closing up as well. There's something that you're doing and you're not really telling other people your strategy. Yeah, foxy, wily, strategic, and it's something to do with either you being the emperor, you know, ruling this kingdom, being in a very, very strong position, or this is a love interest for you, or a boss, an opportunity that you're going for. The emperor is somebody who's up on a pedestal, right? They are they're the best of the best. They're kind of like the warrior kings as well. They've been through it all. They've learned all those life lessons. They've had tough times in their life, but they've got back up and carried on going. That's what makes them the emperor. So there's something to do with never never backing down from a fight. They were kind of giving me that, but that's not what what I'm trying to say. It's like never backing down from a challenge, because you know that the challenge, even if you fail, it's going to teach you something, and it's being taught things that create the emperor energy. So the failures, it's like there's value in failing because you can take lessons from it, and the emperor knows that and sees it, and that's what makes him keep up and keep trying and keep going. And I'm sorry about my tummy rumbling. And like that's what gets him to the success at the end of the day, because you don't get that success if you don't try, and if you try so much, sometimes you're going to fail. So yeah. And this is happiness. So something there for somebody. But 7 of Air, so very, very deceptive, very strategic, very kind of sneaky. It's the Thief in the Night card, the 7 of Swords. So it's normally depicts somebody stealing swords from a battlefield so that they can't be used in the fight the next day. So again, there's this kind of like forward planning strategy of kind of like, it's almost like with that speech as well, it's like almost like thinking, how are people going to react to this? How can I minimize the the negative reaction. What can I put in place now so that when this thing happens that I need to do, or when it's almost like, I'm sorry for the swear, it's like when the shit hits the fan. It's like when you're going to do something and there's going to be some sort of, so sorry, there's going to be some sort of fallout from it. You know, there's going to be like a reaction from people. So you need to kind of like calm the waters in advance, or like put life jackets along the side of the water. You know, I'm sorry, I'm talking in metaphors, but it's hard to explain exactly like kind of how that energy is coming through. But let's read from the book anyway, and see what the book has to say. I feel like I'm all over the place today. I do kind of get this feeling with you, Gemini, as well. I get really scatty the day before I do Gemini readings, and I do like weird things. So yeah, your energy is a very funny energy for me, but it's fun. It's really fun. Quirky. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared, and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you think on your feet, using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Chaos is a ladder. Now is not a time to hesitate. They just gave me It Takes Two again. Now that's the song I forgot to write down, so I will write that down in a moment. But again, it could be that you and somebody else are thinking on your feet and kind of moving together, like two foxes working together. Now is not a time to hesitate, but a time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move. Aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create with Spirit. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. Yeah, exactly. Cleverness. Yeah. Gemini, you are very, very clever. So no surprise that it's the Seven of Swords energy. Like the fox and the Seven of Swords, like so your energy. Okay, let's have a look at the Seven of Air, because they have like interesting little things in this book. She's Colette Baron Reid. She's in it. She does really interesting decks. Can I find it? I don't have this much time to be like rifling through a book. Here we go. So the interesting thing about this one is that, you know, she is wearing a mask, and I kind of kept on talking about the masks. I think this is the third time it's come up for you. So wearing a mask, but it's a very peaceful Seven of Air. I feel like instead of trying to steal swords from a battlefield, it's like maybe you're speaking to people. There is this sense of kind of like, with that Ladykiller song, it's almost like the sense of kind of, you know, maybe trying to suss other people out. Like other people are trying to suss you out. You're wearing a mask, but you're trying to suss other people out or kind of talk them around in some way. It's like, it's almost like you know what's going to happen. You've got the the blueprints for the plan, right? You've got the blueprints. You know what the game plan is. You know what's going to happen here in this situation, but so you're kind of talking to people, friends, family, dropping hints, laying the seeds of something in the mind so that when something happens, they react to it in a expected way. So an example of this would be, there's some kind of conspiracy theory where I don't know it very well, so I'm going to kind of say it wrong, but it's something to do with like seeds being planted in TV shows, especially in cartoons, which kind of predispose society to react to events in a certain way. Now, whether this is intentional by the government or it's some kind of universal plan where it's like, for example, when the Twin Towers fell, just before that there was loads of disaster movies, you know, so you'd see people running, and it's almost like a collective consciousness reaction to things where, because you've seen it played out in movies or TV shows so many times, when it happens in real life, it's like, I know how to react to this. I've got that residual memory of that film, so I'm going to react instinctively in this way, which makes it easier to do like crowd control and things like this. Like when a disaster happens, like the emergency services can have a plan of how people are going to react to that. So whether this is by design or, you know, by fate, it's almost like you're doing this though. You're kind of trying to set up the situation so that when something happens, people react in a certain way. Okay. Independence, non-conformity, living life on one's own terms without people pleasing. Now is the time for me to live life on my own terms. So I must find the courage to reject conformity. Listening to my yearnings for independence is key to breaking free of groupthink and attending to my own needs. Diplomacy with others can help me to be true to my call and do what I know I must do for myself. Now, I watched a video yesterday I keep getting these like psychiatry videos kind of popping up in my feed, and I watch them from time to time, but there's a woman and she was discussing narcissism and kind of like almost like the kryptonite for a narcissist is somebody who is very, very secure in themselves because the narcissist can't manipulate the other person. So there could be some kind of situation like this where, and I'm not going to run around calling people narcissists because that's not my place to do that. I'm not qualified to do that. But I would say there's a narcissistic type of energy in this reading. Now, again, I'm not calling you a narcissist, Gemini, but there's two energies that I'm picking up on. One person has perhaps narcissistic tendencies, right? They have this tendency to kind of try and manipulate the people around them, probably because there's some kind of childhood or past trauma that they're kind of dealing with. They've been, like I was saying with this fox, it's like almost like they've been taught to act that way. That's their survival skill. So I don't want to be too mean on whatever this energy is. There's a reason this person's acting this way, but they like to kind of manipulate the people around them so that they can feel safe. But then the kind of antibody I'm getting for this behavior is somebody who can't be manipulated. It's like the sort of person who if a narcissist will try and kind of undermine or attack the ego of the other person so that they're more easily controlled, like putting them down but then breadcrumbing them to kind of get them back in. It doesn't work with this other type of person because they're very confident and secure in themselves. So the narcissist will put them down and they'll say, okay, thank you, that's your opinion, I'll thank you for sharing that with me. But they're not bothered, right? They're not controlled by it. They're not weeping at the narcissist's feet because, oh no, it's not that kind of neediness that gets manipulated. Or the person will be like, once in a while, oh, great job, because I'm trying to reel them back in, and they're like, thanks, I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do. So there's something there to that as well that you could be dealing with. I feel like maybe you're, like I say, it's like, the school of charm, what this person's doing, but you're not affected by it. It's like, so therefore you kind of make a weird good team where it's, and I'm not saying you should team up with a narcissist or anything like that, there's obviously a lot of issues with that, but it's almost like one person has this tendency to kind of try and manipulate others, and the other person kind of knows, because they kind of do it themselves. So it's like the technique doesn't work on them. It's like, so it's like this thinking on your feet energy where it's like, right, well, that doesn't work. What do I try now? Okay, I'm going to just jump into kind of full spread now. So if you saw last time, I kind of did past, present, future, heart space, head space. I am pulling 9 cards again, but this is going to be a timeline from point A to point B. So the cards are going to run consecutively, and it's going to be a timeline of events for you. Now, it could be a week, it could be a year. So I don't know how much time this is going to be. It's 3333 on the clock, just so you're aware of that. Watch out for repeating numbers, especially 3s. That might be significant for you. And multiples of 3 as well, so 369. I don't know why, but I was looking at 2 and 7 makes 9. So yeah. So let's just get going. So how does this journey start for Gemini, please? I'm looking for 9 cards in consecutive order. I'm not taking reversals. 6 of Pentacles. This is the Tarot of Familiars, I think, by Lisa Parker. Yeah, Tarot of Familiars by Lisa Parker. What happens next for Gemini, please? Thank you. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Swords. Here's the Emperor. The 2 of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles again. Yeah, it could definitely be a work situation or money. The Star, that's hopes, dreams, wishes, right in the center of your reading. Okay, 4 more cards for Gemini, please, ending in the end of this journey, this cycle that they're on. 3 more cards, please, for Gemini. 1. Hangman, interesting, your major arcana is going like this. So don't worry if you can't see the cards very clearly. I will kind of pick them up as I read about them. My lighting's not very good because I'm having to do this so early in the morning. There's heartbreak there next to your wish. So you could have some kind of problem there with your wish. Eight of Pentacles, yeah, ending in work. You are definitely pouring yourself into something, whether that's work, a hobby, kind of trying to set up your own business, money making kind of thing. The sun there at the end of your reading as well on the underlying. So you're working towards happiness, and I think that your happiness involves some kind of either work or project that you're doing. It involves a thing, right? It's not so much a person as it is like a project or a thing or something you're doing. Could like money making or some kind of investment, and it can be an investment of time, you know, like a hobby. It's to do with tangible things. Now, yeah, you've got the Seven of Cups. Swords, what's missing from your reading? No wands, there's no passion in your reading, no creativity. So just be aware of that. You may need to somehow spark some kind of passion for whatever this is you're doing, or you need to, yeah, it's like, it feels like there's no enjoyment in this reading. You're doing something, you're on a bit of a mission, but where's the passion? Okay, your major arcana, you've got the Emperor here. Again, this could be you. We saw the Emperor before in that kind of secretive behaviour. So again, the Emperor is somebody who is very strong. They've kind of been through all those battles and kind of learned all the lessons of all four kings of the tarot. So they've got the cups, you know, the emotions, the passions, you know, the Emperor will have that passion. So maybe this is you. Maybe this is why it's not showing on the rest of your spread, because the passion is within you. But it's... somebody who's strategic. You've got a lot of swords, a lot of pentacles, somebody who's like dependable, very powerful, strong leadership, kind of knowledgeable energy there with that Emperor. So this can be you or somebody else. You know, she, he, they, take it as it resonates. It's more about the meaning of the card than the gender of the card. Down here you've got the Hangman, which is looking at things from a different perspective, trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes, maybe a bit of a hold up as well. In the center of your reading you've got the Star card. Now the Star card, it's all to do with hopes, dreams, wishes, goals in life, but it's also about healing as well. I'm noticing there's 3 cats, but one of those cats is looking back towards us, the viewer. So there's something to that. I'm going to come back to that in a second. You've got 2 Aquarius cards here as well. The Hangman and Star are both Aquarian energy for me. So strong Aquarius here. You may have Aquarius in your chart, or you may be dealing with an Aquarius. The Emperor is Aries, Taurus, sometimes Capricorn. The Sun card over here would be Leo. I'm not really reading bottom of the deck, but with it being the nicest card in the tarot, I thought I'd mention it. So your journey starts with the 6 of Pentacles and it ends with the 8 of Pentacles. So again, Pentacles are to do with tangible, like real grounded things, like things that you can hold and grasp, things that are in your reality. So a job is in your reality, something you do. So money is in your reality, things, you know. So the 6 of Pentacles is about kind of dividing the assets, dividing the workload, sharing. Sharing is caring, I'm hearing. That's a Sims thing. But it's like, yeah, working with somebody else perhaps and sort of balancing the load. So it could be that you are working with somebody else and you're trying to kind of like get that situation equal. The 9 of Swords is a card about anxiety and stress. You know, you had that card that said pressure, so anxiety and stress and kind of overthinking. So again, you've got this kind of like trying to strategize, thinking on your feet. You may be in a very stressful environment where it's almost like you know, sort of like the stock market, perhaps. I do keep coming back to that, but take it as an example if that's not your specific situation. It's like if you're in the stock market, things can change very, very quickly, and you have to be very reactive. You do have to think on your feet. Should I buy? Should I sell? Who should I buy from? Who, what's going on with the business? What's going on in business news? So whatever you're doing, it's almost like the things can change on like a drop of a hat, on a pinprick. I can't think of that term, but it's like things can change very suddenly. Things can be, seem like they're going really, really well, and then really go south very quickly, and you have to kind of do damage control. Maybe you work in like a PR or something like that, advertising, or something. Sorry, my video cut out. Something to do with the image a company projects. So it's like but it's very stressful. There's a huge amount of pressure and stress with this card here. So then you go into the Emperor. Perhaps you're trying to get a promotion. You're trying to get into some kind of leadership role, or you are in some kind of leadership role there with that Emperor. I may just ask, why is the Emperor here, please? Can you tell me more information on that Emperor? The Lovers, yeah, so love interest for some of you. Chariot, Ace of Pentacles, Strength, and the World. Wow, absolutely. You've got two cards here. You've got that Go East as well. So the Chariot and the World both talk about literally travel, global travel. The Ace of Pentacles can be a new job offer. You could be the Lovers leading it. This is your card though, Gemini energy. Again, I'm getting that feeling like you and somebody else, but you're kind of like different, but you match. Yeah, this looks to me like a job offer. A lot of courage and strength and confidence needed to do this, because you're actually you're gonna probably move. So if it's your thing, take it. If it's not, leave it. But you've got East, Chariot, and the World, so they all talk about movement, global travel, moving house. The World can indicate the World Wide Web as well, like the internet. So perhaps having some kind of social, like communications role, using the internet to further your own business, something like this. Then you've got the Two of Pentacles, which is kind of like juggling, balancing. So this kind of, whatever this, it feels like a huge opportunity. It could be a boss who is also a love interest, but it's like it's coming in with this massive opportunity, and it could involve travel or movement. Juggling the situation, trying to spin all those plates, keep everything spinning and balanced, continuing to kind of do what you're doing really, really well, but really feeling that pressure. So then you've got the Star card. So this is like, haha, your wish is here, wish fulfillment. I do get this impression of somebody like choosing somebody who has a lot of offers here with this Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is like lots of people coming to you with like trying to hand you their cup. So you have options basically, and you're kind of trying to do this kind of assessment of, well, where are my hopes and dreams and wishes? What do I want to do? What works for me? So it's almost like the freedom of choice, perhaps, where you kind of like, well, I get to choose now my own happiness. It's not like I'm forced into a certain role. I can pick and choose what I want from this situation to a certain extent, but that means rejecting other things. But it could be that somebody has a lot of offers. The Emperor, perhaps, the Emperor is in very high vibrational energy. They've got a really good game and they look good doing it. So they're going to get a lot of offers, whether that's love interest or business offers or friendship offers, whatever that is. Like the Emperor is going to get all that. So again, that could be you or somebody else. So but then there's this sense of like this cat is turning to look at us, the viewer. So you could be somebody's wish fulfillment. You could be seeing this person as your wish fulfillment. It's like there's no choice here. There's no you're not confused by this because the choice is clear, but then you do have this kind of reassessment business going on down here with this Hangman energy. So the Hangman, like I say, is looking at things from a different perspective. You can see that skull actually has it's almost like a globe. They've got a map on it. So and again, that bird is holding the Ace of Pentacles. So there's something with this offer or opportunity that was coming through here with this Emperor, where there could be some kind of hold up with it. It's like they're getting ready to offer you something, but and just looking at like all the books and the writing as well, and going back to that script writing energy, it's like perhaps you're applying for a job, so you've got this sense of like, wanting to put in your CV, but not wanting to kind of sound too like robotic and all, like an automatron. You want to kind of speak from the heart in the situation, but you don't want to come across as unprofessional, something like that. There is this sense of like reassessing or weighing up your options. It could be like you're figuring out how to move towards somebody, or they're figuring out how to move towards you, but there's a hold up. I think the hold up is what's causing this heartbreak energy, because it can be like it's coming through as a sense of longing today, as kind of like you can see where your wish is, it's right there, you can see it. You've got the map, you've got the plan, you've got the blueprints, Gemini. So, but not being able to take action is kind of like causing this kind of like longing, this heartache. Tell me about the Three of Swords, please, for Gemini. The world, yeah, you can't travel yet. Like the world has come out again. Look, globe again. I mean, the world is not enough. You were getting as well. The world is not enough. It's just a perfect place to start, my love. So maybe there's a sense of like you've got really big plans, big ideas, big goals, big dreams, big wishes with that star card right in the center of your reading there. You've got a lot of major arcana actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. So, you know, there is something big going on for you. The world also talks about completing a cycle, learning some kind of major life lesson, wrapping something up before you move on to something else. And it's with this owl, which is knowledge. So you could have been doing some kind of like higher education, some kind of learning a new skill, gaining some kind of knowledge in a situation. So yeah, the heartache is caused by not being able to move, I think, right now. Or the heartbreak could come when you have to leave a situation behind. You know, when you complete university and you move out and go and get a job, you know, there is a heartbreak because you have to kind of like, it's kind of bittersweet because you have to kind of like leave the people behind who you've been dealing with for a few years, or you know, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad, you know, and like leaving like the building behind, the routine of it. You know, there is a sense of longing for the past as you move into the future. So a bit of I feel like you're in a bit of a grey area where you're kind of hanging on to the past a little bit, stuck in a situation but ready for the future. So kind of like heartache over what you're leaving behind, and kind of like this longing for what you're moving towards. So it ends with the Eight of Pentacles. Now the Eight of Pentacles is mastering a craft, doing something over and over again until you kind of perfect it. And again, that's kind of coming through with that World card there. So let's get another card on the Eight of Pentacles. Why does Gemini's the Knave of Cups? So the Knave of Cups comes with some kind of like fantasy aspect where you're kind of visualizing where you're going to be. It's like where you're going to be in the next 10 years, right? So you're taking the steps to move there. You know where you're heading, I think, Gemini. You've got that kind of, you've got the blueprints of your life. You've got that plan. You know where you want to go. So or at least if you don't know where you're going, you know which steps you need to take to move somewhere. There's a lot of movement here in this reading. But the Knave of Cups, it can also be an apology, or you know, some kind of very, very sweet and sincere love offer, or you know, somebody coming forward to say, hey, I like you, hey, I've been watching you. You could also be excuse me, I'm also getting this sense of like you being the grown-up owl, right? You being the emperor. So you're coming through in this reading as the one who's kind of like, you know, fallen down and had to pick themselves back up again and learn all those lessons. So now that you are in a strong position where you're kind of like that knowing emperor / owl, you can then start to take younger, more vulnerable people under your wing. So you've kind of like with the Eight of Pentacles, like you know, the world and the Eight of Pentacles, you've mastered something, you've achieved something, you've kind of perfected something. So therefore you maybe find that you're kind of yeah, you're kind of taking apprentices on, or taking people who are less senior than you into under your wing, and kind of coaching them, teaching them, kind of building them up. So lovely reading. Let's pull you another animal oracle card as your advice. I'm only taking one card. Can I get one advice card, please, for Gemini? An advice card for Gemini, maybe an animal that they can look out for signs and symbols. One more card, please, for Gemini. No, yes. It's the parrot spirit. The bee spirit has also come out, and the otter spirit, so that could be meaningful to you. Sweet results await. You are never alone. But it's the parrot card that I kind of felt like they were trying to put in my hand. So I'm going to just stop and start and have a sip of coffee, and then we'll read from the book for you. Okay, the parrot. Gosh, I've just ruined your reading. I'm so sorry, Gemini. The parrot spirit, then. Watch your words. What are you saying to yourself? What message are you repeating? Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself and reminds you of your strengths and potential? Parrots mimic the sounds around them, and when the parrot spirit appears, it's time to be more mindful of your self-talk and its qualities. What do you say to others? Are you repeating what you truly believe? Again, this thing about like script, right? Remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks. Oh, right. I'm going to just say I'm getting, I get kind of like feelings sometimes. And there's a feeling here of like pressure, right here on my wrist. So I don't know if that is anything to anyone, but it's making me feel a little bit squeamish. So I don't know if that's relevant to anyone, but it's there. Remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks, affirming all is good so that your loving, healing words will be heard throughout the jungle, cutting through the noise and inspiring others. Listen. Making me feel weird. Listen for the words that remind you of all the strengths, abundance, and joy in your life and the world around you, and then repeat them, affirming what is real, true, and nurturing to the soul. The universe will reflect back to you the story that you tell. Words matter, so choose ones that lift you up and inspire others to remember that beauty surrounds us. So be careful of what you're saying to other people. Again, like, she's wearing that mask there, right? She's not really speaking her truth. And all those birds are listening. So it's like, be careful what you're saying when you're in conversation with other people. Maybe don't reveal all your plans, but make sure you speak well of yourself. It could be sort of like, maybe you're applying for a job and you're talking to other people in your workplace. And if you sit there going, oh, I'm such an idiot, I did everything wrong, they're going to be like, oh yeah, Gemini does everything wrong. They're going to talk about it. If you talk about your personal life, like people could chat about it, like around the water cooler kind of thing, where, that might end up working against you. So as I was kind of saying with this, it's like, when you're in those situations, when you're talking to other people, especially if you've got a plan, sort of think ahead and think, what do I want these people to repeat? It's almost like, the way I'm seeing it, Gemini, is like you're using the grapevine, you're using the rumour mill, the gossip mill, but you're using it to your advantage because you're thinking about, when I say something, what's going to happen with what I say. So it's almost like you're kind of using the parrot system, the grapevine, the gossip of people around you to your own advantage in some way. So because the Seven of Aries talks about deceptiveness, so it does say to speak with love and light, make sure, maybe be careful what you say to people because it could get back to somebody else. So it's like if you were trying to impress this emperor, right? And you said, oh, like his horns are a bit wonky, and the others like repeat that to each other, and somebody tells them, oh, Gemini thinks your horns are wonky. He's going to be like, oh, Gemini doesn't like me, or Gemini's rude. Where if you say to these people, oh yeah, the emperor, he's very impressive, then they're going to be like, oh, Gemini thinks the emperor is really, really impressive. And that'll get to them. And then they'll be like, oh, Gemini really thinks I'm impressive. Before they've recognized that how awesome I am. Maybe I want Gemini on my team. So something like that. Just be aware of what you're saying, especially around other people, because it's going to get parroted around and parroted back to you. And also just be kind with your words, kind to other people, because they're more likely to say kind words back to you. Don't put yourself down as well. Don't be self-deceptive and kind of and talk about your own bad points. Try and see yourself in a good light, and others will too. Okay, Gemini, I hope that was helpful to you. People are knocking things over, yeah, I hope that was helpful to you. Leave me a like if you like, subscribe, share it with friends, all that business. Thank you as well to anyone who's still here who watched my Taurus reading yesterday. I got quite a lot of views on that. I don't know why, but thank you everybody for your support. It really means a lot to me. Okay, Gemini, love you lots. Best of luck with that. Do take care.